does submission go both ways? All right.
Controversial. Because we know it definitely goes one way, right?
I'm not even sure at this point in time. I'm not even really sure if it goes one way or the other, right? Well, let's start with this. KB, what does submission mean to you?
What does submission mean to me? Submission is the dominant force able to dictate how a relationship is going to go.
Okay.
Okay.
So, whether it be dominance in sex, and when I say dominance in sex, I'm meaning who gives up what, right? Because it could be a woman that wants more sex than a man. And a man might say, I'm controlling this, and I'm not giving it to you. She has to submit to get what she wants, right? Most of the time. So whoever controls that is the one that kind of is submitting.
In sex,
the one that controls it is submitting, or the one that
the one that usually wants something the most is the one that usually submits the most.
So who's on the bottom in sex? The submitter or the submittee on the bottom?
I'm not sure what you mean by bottom.
Missionary or getting rolled?
I think you can flip them back and forth.
Okay.
I don't.
If you're the dominant partner in sex, do you get on top or do you get ridden?
I don't think that matters. It could be either way.
Missionary be feeling a little funny sometimes, though. Like, if we feeling like I'm kind of like twerking sometimes when I'm in missionary. I'll be like, yo.
Wait until you do Amazon.
Like you put.
No, I've never done Amazon. I've seen it and I said no. That's where I draw the line, sir. That's where I draw the line, sir.
What happened?
Yo, look it up.
You actually gave it. You gave it a thought.
What, Amazon?
Yeah.
No, I saw it and I was like, no.
Yeah, that's total submission.
Yeah,
for a
that
man.
is submission for a man.
That's some submission
like,
for your ass, boy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, GB, what do you consider submission?
I agree with KB's. I'm just gonna, dissect it a little bit more. I feel like submission is leadership in certain departments or as a whole in a relationship. So I don't know if I'm showing my hand too early, but I feel like submission is leadership, taking full responsibilities in certain situations, and asserting, not so much dominance, but asserting, listen, this is the way that I feel like this should go. I'm gonna take the brunt of whatever this is going to take to get there. Whether I'll take the blame if it doesn't work. I will finance it.
So you're equating submission with leadership, though?
Yes, yeah. Leadership in a relationship.
Okay.
If you submit to your partner, you are under their covering or their leadership.
Got you.
Right.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yourself?
Right. Well, I have wrote down a couple of
Great
notes.
Let's hear them.
Or like somewhat definitions of what submission is supposed to be.
Okay.
Weakness?
No.
No?
I don't believe it's
No?
weakness.
Weakness? No? GB?
No.
Here's why I don't think it's weakness. Can I just explain that?
Absolutely.
I think that just because someone is stronger than you in a certain area and they have the designation of leadership, I don't think that makes the person that's under them weaker, or the one that's not as strong in a certain area weak.
I'm saying you're kind of saying it sort of like that, though. Because it's like, all right, if,
So what's another way to say it?
Okay, like, if we take what you just said, we take what GB just said. Like, if I'm not that great in childcare and I'll take the leadership of my wife, I'll submit to her in that.
You're weaker than her.
I'm weaker.
In that.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
No, or you just don't want to try as hard. You just want to pass that off to her.
All right. Well, maybe. Okay. Let's not say.
If you applied yourself, you could probably be better than her at it if you really wanted to.
All right,
you just don't want to.
No, that's a possibility. But let's just say at this very point, she's just better than me at certain things, or I'm better than her at certain things. All right. So my skills might be weaker than her in that particular arena. Well, I'm just gonna go down the list of the
Go ahead.
All right. Giving up control.
Weaker adjacent.
Giving up control, KB?
Weaker adjacent?
Yeah.
All right.
You keep
That's
going.
what it is.
Being dominated by a more privileged party.
Weaker adjacent.
Being dominated by, anytime you say anything about domination, it just doesn't.
People just get triggered by words, right?
Dominant. Yeah.
Being dominated by a more privileged party.
That was 2 words. That
Privileged?
Was very
Privileged party.
Where's the privilege come from?
Well, that's what I want to ask you guys. Do you feel like, all right, so.
Though because we have, different appendages, we're supposed to be privileged.
Okay, well, let me ask you though, because all right, we're gonna go with the assumption that majority of the time, women are asked to submit to men. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
So, are men more privileged than women? KB?
No. In what sense?
I don't know.
Well, if you put it like that, then yes, it's society.
I answered it and then asked you.
Yes,
So I apologize.
it's society-wise, yes. If you're gonna say it like that, then yes, men are privileged. Because you think about our weddings, right?
Even at this point, you think men are more privileged than women?
Well, our wedding is when your wife gets walked down the aisle by her father or whatever father figures in her life, right? Mm-hmm. And he hands her off to you. He's symbolizing that she's under his covering and he's giving her to you to submit under your covering.
Okay.
So while we're still doing that at every wedding, still today in the United States, I feel like society dictates that the woman is supposed to be submissive to the man. So yeah, privilege is correct.
Okay.
We have societal privilege.
Okay.
Because it's looked down upon. Because it's looked down upon for a man to be submissive to his wife.
So how does that work?
Hold that point though. Go ahead, KB.
So how does that work in same-sex marriages? Like when 2 women get married? Because
there's always one like girly looking one and one guy looking one, right?
I don't think so. I think
the
that's
ones
really
I've been
how
seeing.
lesbian relationships work. I think. I don't
Even
know.
in like the gay
I know
ones,
all of them.
I think so.
I don't think,
there's always going to be polarity, bro.
There's always gonna, and it has to be polarity. But somehow, some way, you have relationships that work where there are 2 women that are women. They look like women.
Yeah. All right. I think you can. In some instances, you can
They
have.
look like 2 sexy ass women.
No, in some instances you can have, which is I don't think it's the most common thing, to like a 50-50 with polarity, right? But in most relationships, there's going to be a more masculine party, even in gay and lesbian,
That's what I believe.
and a more feminine party, right? And I think naturally, like the masculine party may more or less lead the situation. It's just my